We will try again. You're now live. Oh, you're live now. Okay, great. Dear friends, today I have with me Dean Lindsay. And this is a person who is very powerful, but at the same time, he's really very, very funny. You will think that we prepared to dress up like that and we have the same blue, but no, it's just by accident, by coincidence. What I like about this great man, Dean Lindsay, he is an award-winning business author, and he wrote books, Creating Progress in a World of Change, Big Fat Goals. And people say that he's changing their life. And one person said, who was assistant to Viktor Frankl, whom I love so much, and I just mentioned him in the morning, that Dean is the person who make combination of everything. Dear Dean, you are welcome. We are so happy to see you.
Olga, thank you so much for having me on this program.
You are at the Hidden Hero. Dear Dean, my first question to you. You talk a lot about changes and about goals, and you do it in your way. I don't think somebody else in the world can do it. Can you explain to me how? For me, I hate changes. I'm afraid of changes. I'm a conservative person. I want everything to be smooth because I'm Pisces. But you're absolutely right. We cannot live without changes. Tell me, please, how to accept these changes and to make progress.
Wonderful question, Olga. Wonderful question. Well, you say that you don't like change. Do you want things to get better?
Yes. But if they're already very good, if they're already very good, because thanks God, I touch wood. I like my life.
You get scared, you get a little intimidated by it. Sure. Well, what I tried to do in creating progress in a world of change is, because I'm not saying there's not change. There's stuff that happens that most people would view as what we quote unquote call change, negative, bad for us. That's reality. But there's also things that we sometimes shoo off as change because it's new, and we don't take the opportunity to actually see how it might be progress and not change. All progress is change, but not all change is progress. If I have an upset stomach, my tummy hurts. Oh, I need change. It's got to change. Oh, I need change. And you somehow using technology can reach through, here on this interview and pop me in the nose. That's change, but it's not progress. At least not to me. So it's vital for us to honor people's, especially if we're in leadership or in sales or in really, especially with COVID and just the whole world, to honor the fact that people want to resist what they view as change, but we embrace what we each individually view as progress. So I'm not by any means trying to make it less challenging, but definitely still honoring the fact that the world's gonna do what it's gonna do, and we have the choice as to how we're going to respond. And I know you're probably going to mention some stuff about Viktor Frankl, which is kind of what I'm even thinking about right now when I say this. Frankl is basically the guy who came up with the concept of you can't control what happens to you, but you can control your reaction to it. So,
and the way actually, he was doing it in the concentration camp, where it is impossible to do anything because it is the most terrible place in the world.
And he had to do it in secret, because if they actually found out that he was actually helping his fellow prisoners, he would have gotten messed up. He had the concepts for logotherapy prior to going into the concentration camp. He actually sewed a version of the manuscript, which became Man's Search for Meaning, in his clothes at the time, obviously not knowing that one of the first things that was going to happen once he got to the concentration camp was he was going to not have those clothes, anymore, type of thing. So, the Man's Search for Meaning, fantastic book. One of 4 books that I highly recommend. The first for me is the Bible. The second, Man's Search for Meaning. And then when people ask me what the other 2 books are, I remind them that I've written 2 books. So that's how that goes down.
So don't forget to Dean Lindsay books, which are Big Fat Goals and Creating Progress in a World of Change. My question to you, you said, that you should control only you and your action, because you cannot control the world. You cannot control Biden or Trump. You cannot control Hillary Clinton or Vladimir Putin. So if you listen to all this news, about vaccine or anything, how you can control yourself. Of course you will become nervous, of course you will become anxious, of course you will become frightened. What do you mean, how to control yourself?
Once again, Olga, what a great question, and actually one that I'm only pretty much answering for myself every day. You also can't just put your head in the sand and not be educated. So it's a tricky thing right here, right? Because a lack of the right information can lead to your demise and the demise of your loved ones. So I think there's two sides to that coin that you just asked. I think that you needed to take what I've chosen to do in these challenging times is do what some people would call self-care, better self-care, but I call it self-optimization. The challenges of the world has intensified, and because those challenges have intensified, I need to be more prepared for them. So that means getting enough rest, eating enough lean protein, drinking enough water. When I say enough water, I've pretty much decided it. In my mind, there's all the research that I've done. It's basically an ounce for every pound. Oh, I'm sorry, an ounce, 1 ounce for half your body weight in ounces, half your body weight in ounces. And then, yeah, okay, good. Yes, drinking a lot of water. Yeah, that's. I mean, the reason for that, Olga, is because then you're giving your brain the ability to even relate to this stuff, right? I mean, you can't control your reaction to it. Back to Frankel, if you don't even have the right choice available because of limited stimuli, you're already jacked up from. I don't even call them poor decisions like drinking all night. There's a lot other levels of poor decisions before we get into sleeping, staying out all night drinking. I mean, there's a lot of other things we can choose to do. The other thing is, I think we got to go to relatable, reliable sources to receive our information. I'm pretty much a BBC, PBS guy. I don't know if you know PBS. PBS is
yes, of course.
yeah.
It's,
Okay, good.
it's
Yeah,
very famous.
I don't do I mean, actually, I'll watch some of the other stuff just because I kind of want to know the crazy stuff that I might be hearing on the street. But as far as where I actually kind of draw a line as to what people are actually agreeing to as factio, stuff, it's so I think, and then you can't go down every rabbit hole. Goodness gracious, there are so many rabbit holes that people can go down into conspiracies and all this stuff. So I think it's just really challenging. But even more important now to really have a very critical thinking, decisive ability to figure out what is progress and what is change. And then what is change you can't. I mean, it's very much the kind of the serenity prayer. God grant me the wisdom to accept the things I can't change, the courage to change the things that I can, the wisdom to know the difference. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's yeah. I mean,
it's wise. No, it's wise. But do you notice, Dean, that something happening, that the changes start being so quick? Let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was in a way slow. Now I feel it's like volcano or like hurricane. It's like moving. Do you feel the same feeling or no? Or it always was like that?
Oh, it's definitely. Well, what's an interesting question too? You just asked such good questions, Olga, and this is like 2.0 as far as kind of taking my thought processes or reasonings and stuff and putting it into the world right now. I think that there's always been. I mean, the coronavirus and the United States, presidential stuff. That's some brand new stuff. That's some new things for this little last 5, 6, 7 years. But other than that, I think most of the stuff's been going on. We just haven't had cameras on every everything happening all over the world. There's always been famine and war and all those things. We just don't get it pumped into our. I get it now with my phone. I can see it while I'm waking up in the morning. I would see something happening in Bangladesh. For instance, I get up, I see, so I think that there's always been some really craziness happening. I just think that we've had a nice little buffer for our psyche, because if we look too if you look too much at the world and its fullness and the brutality and all the stuff at one time, you wouldn't get out of bed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Agree with you. You know, one of the feedback to your books and to your sessions, because you work with a lot of companies and with a
I
lot of
do,
people
yes.
and with a lot of leaders,
Do
they
they say
wrote,
something good about me?
somebody yes, somebody no, because
Okay, let's
I,
see. Let's see.
I,
Get him
I
on the
cannot.
phone. Get him on the call. Get him in this
Okay.
interview.
Okay, Dean, the feedback was that a person said, I rewrote all my goals after working with you. I rewrote all my goals. What's the meaning of this? How you do that with people?
In Big Fat Goals, and thank you very much for sharing that. Yeah, so I wrote a book called How to Achieve Big Fat Goals, and FAT is an acronym for Pretty Hot and Tempting. And that's what FAT stands for. And that's what we have to make our goals to ourselves. They have to be pretty hot and tempting. And what happens in goal setting, people set out something that they want to do in the future. And what I've tried to do in Big Fat Goals would lay out a way of goal crafting, that you're crafting the goal and rewriting it in such a way that it actually propels you towards its achievement, because it kind of becomes a self-affirming, well, it becomes an affirmation, something you can self-talk and walk into that vision. Our biggest challenge is not remembering our goals. Our biggest challenge is remembering why. And our goals, not in like, you know, in the day, but in the nanosecond, in every single moment of the day, literally every single moment. There's options that can pull you away from your goal. And I don't mean pull you away like, move into some other country. I just mean just divert your attention in some regard. And what's interesting is those have good benefits too. Everything we choose to do at the time we choose to do it has some kind of a benefit in our minds, or we wouldn't be choosing to do it.
Dean,
There's
you talk
benefit.
about distraction, yeah? That, for example, you want to be Olympic champion, but instead of this, you're just eating chocolate cheesecakes. That means that you're distracted from that is what you're talking about, that you forget.
Well, I'm talking about that, but I also want to honor the fact that chocolate cheesecake is good, right?
Yeah,
I'm not saying
definitely.
you should. I'm not saying you should eat that, but it's good to be an Olympic winner. But it's also good to eat cheesecake. So you got to stack it up, and one of them is going to win out. And it's not going to win out like at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you know you wanted to be Olympic, right? At the end of the day, you know you want to be Olympic champion, and you're going, oh crap! I wish I would have not eaten the cheesecake and went and did my Olympic practice or whatever. But in the short term, it's hard to beat. Cheesecake is good. So you gotta continually remind yourself about the why. Pat Benatar, who Pat Benatar is? He's a American
Yes.
rock and roll star. Okay.
Yeah.
She is quoted as saying, with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. With the power of conviction. It's conviction that leads to commitment, and commitment that leads to action. Conviction, commitment, action. A lot of times when we're talking about our goals, we're thinking about the actions we have to take to them. And we're also not even crafting the goal that it has that much of a strong commitment. And so what I'm encouraging people to do is to first think about why, and not only know your why, but continually grow your why, so that you have stronger and stronger conviction, so that you don't see all the other things that you don't get to do as sacrifice. You don't see not eating that cheesecake as a sacrifice, because you have conviction towards your longer term goal of what by the way, what sport are we winning in Olympics? What are we competing in? What are we, am I swimming? Is it archery? Am I a gymnast? What am I doing?
No. Why? Because I did a lot of movies about Olympic champions. I'm director and producer of the documentary films. And of course, I'm very interested in psychology of Olympic champions. I did a movie about boxer. His name is Serik Sapiev. He's the Olympic champion in 2014 in London in box. And of course, that's why for me it's very interesting what is in their mind.
Because I have not interviewed any Olympians. Does what I'm saying? I'm just making this stuff up. Does that ring true? Kind of in the sense that he had a strong why.
I think, it's just the mission. He was saying that when he was in the Olympic, he was thinking, even if my leg will be broken, even if my hand will be broken, I know that I will be Olympic champ. So it's like a very big mission. that you are on
Yes.
the mission. You don't think
Yes.
about cakes. You don't think that all other people are in the nightclubs. You just have a mission.
That's
It's the same like
that's
what you do, Dean. You have a big mission and you do it. You use your humor, you use your power, you use your knowledge, you use your charisma to help people. Because after I watch your interviews and I read your book, but especially when I watch you, my mood becomes very good. I'm not afraid. I just, you put it in a very, very way that, the most terrible is to be afraid.
Thank you, Olga. That is such a nice thing for you to say. But could you interview me every day?
The same time and the same blue. So
yeah, we got to wear the same thing every day. Just
we have, now we have to do one thing. We should argue. We cannot always say yes, yes. So let's do
well, let
one
me
no.
see if I
Let's
can,
try.
sure come up with something.
Let's try. Yeah, we have 4
Okay.
minutes left, and we need to make a kind of the
Okay.
quarrel.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah,
that is how the
I
show.
agree.
My last question to you, you were saying in one of the interviews that if you have a team, if you have a people, if you're a leader and you want to lead the people, you cannot tell them just go and collect the woods because I want you to collect the woods in the forest. You told them, go to the sea and swim and then they will collect woods because they want to build a boat. It was something like this. Maybe I'm mixing.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. That's a quote. That's a quote. I use that as an example for the difference between change management and progress leadership. And that comes from the author of The Little Prince. And he wrote, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people together and assign them tasks and work to collect wood, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. And his point to that is that if you just tell people to go and collect wood, that only means that for sure that they know that you want them to collect wood. That doesn't mean they're actually going to collect wood. But if you help them establish a longing for the endless immensity of the sea, that means that they're going to want to be on the sea. And then they're going to say, I don't have any way to be on the sea. I need a boat. And then they're going to say, I don't have anything to build a boat with. I'm going to go collect wood. See, that's the difference. And that's the difference between what, I'm pretty sure it's a worldwide term, change management. The term change management, I think, is a horrible phrase. Nobody wants to, in their minds, change. And they certainly don't want that change managed. We want to progress. We want to be led. So really, it's not change management, it's progress leadership. And would you believe, Olga, that had never been said? I actually own the legal trademark to that term, progress leadership.
No, it's a wonderful progress leadership. It's a wonderful trademark.
But it's not just semantics. That's truly what it should be in the minds of the leaders, because whatever reality COVID does to them, or that people don't need as much of your stuff, or we got to move over to another society or whatever. I mean, another part of the country, whatever it is, that's what the world has done to the organization. Or that's whatever the past decisions have done to the organization. Whatever the next step that the leaders choose to make, right? They're not doing it to change, they're doing it to progress. So you need to honor where people are at in their minds, and don't just share with them what to do, but help them understand why and how. If they actually do it, it's going to help them get what I call, and I do need to get this into this interview. Everything we do, this is the headiest thing that I've kind of come up with. Everything we do, consciously or subconsciously, we do because we believe the perceived consequences will be us feeling the unique right mixture of what I've labeled the 6 P's of progress: pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. Pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. And so if we can help the people that we're leading see how the next step that we believe that this organization needs to take, however hard it is for them to take it. There's pain in taking that new step, yes, but there's more pain in not taking that step. Yes, there's some pain in working out for your boxer guy. There's some pain in working out twice a day and eating a dozen eggs every day or whatever. But there was great peace of mind and prestige and pain avoidance and pleasure down the road. So that's the big enchilada is sizing things up as progress and change, and then being able to empower people, or inspire people into positive action.
You know, I will comment on this, that even we can, in a way, little bit frighten people. In which way? If you don't exercise now, if you don't take care of yourself, it will be very harmful to you, especially during this COVID time. So it's not only escaping the pain now, but it's the matter of living. And this is what you're saying, that it's not about, you know, to survive and to be healthy and to be happy, we need to do this change for the positive. We need to do it for ourselves, for our societies, and for the humanity. Because
That's right.
this is how it's a progress. It's a positive thing. It's a positive change.
Right.
And,
well, but that the challenge thing is that there's tons of things that we need to do, would, could, should, but it's really about what you choose to do. And there's just to quote another rock and roller, Sheryl Crow. Have you heard of Sheryl Crow? There ain't nothing like regret to remind you you're alive. What's more painful, discipline or regret?
I think the regret is more painful.
Yes, but see, the challenge with regret is, when do you feel it? When it's too late. So better to actually use your imagination and think of how bad you will feel if you don't exercise, and how all those things, and then you'll do everything you can to avoid the pain of regret.
Do you dance rock and roll?
I've danced rock and roll. I sing rock and roll. I love rock and roll.
Dun, 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 pam, pam, pam.
Oh, look, that's old school.
It is amazing. Really, I enjoyed so much talking to you. You are a bunch of positivity, bunch of energy, bunch of songs, rock and roll. And what is this word that you invented? It's positive progress. Tell us again this.
Well, progress leadership.
Progress leadership.
Progress leadership is it's in the book Creating Progress in a World of Change. But yes, I've literally and the concept of being a progress agent versus a change agent. That's my, I mean, I've, you know, because people don't want to change, they want to progress. In fact, you even said it, positive change. Well, if it's positive change, it's progress. Right.
So I will call you Dean Lindsay, the king of progress leadership. Do you like this name?
I will accept that. I will accept that. Yes.
Thank you so much. This is how Russia and USA becomes friends. And I think we did it not less than our leaders. I think we did it also very good.
We did it quick,
maybe it's even better, you know? Can we say like that?
Spasiba, is that what I say here?
Spasiba. Thank you so much. Spasiba. Thank you so much. I enjoyed very much. All the best. All the best. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you.